Narcissists chase pleasure endlessly, but they never feel satisfied. No matter how passionate the night or how adoring the partner, there's always something missing. They might look powerful, confident, and magnetic in bed, but inside, they're restless. The reason runs far deeper than lust. It's not about the act itself, it's about the emptiness they're trying to fill and the craving that never ends. To understand this, you have to see how a narcissist views intimacy. For them, sex isn't about connection. It's about validation. It's proof they still have power, desirability, and control. The moment of conquest gives them a high, but that high fades fast. They confuse attention for love and desire for worth, but those feelings never stick. Satisfaction slips away the moment the lights go out. True satisfaction requires presence, being emotionally connected, vulnerable, and open. But narcissists fear all three. They don't know how to stay in the moment, because the moment feels dangerous. If they relax, they might feel small, exposed, or human. So instead of feeling, they perform. Instead of connecting, they dominate. And that performance kills the very intimacy they crave. They see their partner as an audience, not an equal. Every gesture, every word becomes part of a performance designed to earn admiration. Was I amazing? Replaces did we connect? Their pleasure depends on how impressed the other person seems. The body may be satisfied, but the soul remains starved, because admiration fades, and the narcissist is addicted to the chase. The dark truth is that narcissists use sex to confirm their existence. Their sense of self is fragile, built on mirrors and reactions. When someone desires them, they feel alive. But once the desire is fulfilled, the mirror goes dark. They're left alone with the emptiness they were running from. So they seek another mirror, another conquest, hoping this time it will last. It never does. Satisfaction requires reciprocity, both people giving and receiving equally. But narcissists only know how to take. Even their generosity has an agenda. They give pleasure to gain power, not to share connection. Every selfless act hides a calculation. Will this make them worship me? Once admiration fades, so does their interest. What they call satisfaction is really validation on a timer. Many narcissists secretly feel inadequate. Their sexual confidence is often a mask covering deep insecurity. They perform perfection to hide self-doubt. But performance isn't passion. It's exhausting, transactional, and hollow. They might impress a partner for a while, but when the emotional echo doesn't come, they feel cheated, never realizing they're the ones withholding real connection. Their craving is emotional hunger disguised as desire. They use their bodies to chase a feeling they can't name, worthiness. But worth doesn't come from seduction. It comes from authenticity, something they've buried beneath layers of ego. Every new encounter feels like a promise of completion, but the void inside them devours it all. Control plays a huge role in their dissatisfaction. To a narcissist, losing control feels like death, yet sexual satisfaction often requires surrender. Letting go, trusting another person, being emotionally present. That's something they can't do. So even when pleasure is within reach, they pull back. They can't surrender because surrender means vulnerability, and vulnerability means danger. They want to be worshipped, not loved. Love is mutual. Worship is one-sided. They don't want a partner who meets them as an equal. They want a mirror reflecting their greatness. But mirrors can't touch you. They can't love you back. And so the narcissist is forever alone, even in the most intimate moments. When a partner tries to connect emotionally, it ruins the fantasy. Genuine tenderness exposes their insecurity. They might make jokes, change the subject, or become distant. Anything to avoid being seen, because if the other person truly sees them, they'll see the cracks, the fear, the self-loathing, the emptiness they've hidden behind arrogance. That emptiness is the real reason they can't feel satisfied. It's not that they need more passion, more attention, more excitement. It's that they're missing something internal. No amount of physical pleasure can fill an emotional void. The satisfaction they seek doesn't come from bodies. It comes from authenticity, empathy, and love, things they can't tolerate for long. They often leave partners confused. Why did the connection feel so strong at first, then vanish? Because narcissists are masters of illusion. At the beginning, they mirror everything you desire. They study your emotions and reflect them back with precision. It feels like love, but it's mimicry. Once the performance ends, reality returns and they're gone, chasing the next reflection. After the act, many narcissists feel irritable, distant, or even angry. That's because satisfaction forces stillness, and stillness invites self-awareness. For most people, that's peace. For a narcissist, it's terror. Stillness makes them feel the void, the silence they've spent their lives outrunning, so they create chaos again. Anything to avoid that quiet truth. Their dissatisfaction also comes from entitlement. Narcissists believe they deserve constant excitement, endless admiration, and total control. Real intimacy, however, thrives on equality and patience. The more they demand, the less they receive. Their need for perfection turns partners into performers too, killing authenticity on both sides. Narcissists rarely stay faithful, not because they can't love, but because they can't feel enough. Once the novelty fades, they crave another hit of admiration. Each new partner is another mirror, another stage, another escape from boredom. But every new performance ends the same way, with disappointment, emptiness, and another restless search. Ironically, they often accuse their partners of being the problem. You're not passionate enough. You've changed. In truth, it's their own inability to feel depth. They blame others for not giving enough without realizing their emotional walls prevent real closeness. They don't want connection. They want consumption. And consumption can never lead to satisfaction. In their world, sex becomes a transaction, not a union. They offer charm, intensity, and fantasy in exchange for admiration. But intimacy isn't a trade, it's a dance. You can't choreograph genuine connection. The narcissist's rigid control kills the rhythm, and the moment love tries to breathe, they choke it with their need to dominate. The darker truth is that they're addicted to the chase, because the chase feels safer than the capture. Pursuing someone keeps them in control. Being caught means they might have to feel. Once the relationship stabilizes, the thrill dies, and without that thrill, they feel empty again. So they start the hunt all over, mistaking adrenaline for affection. They confuse intensity with intimacy. Intensity excites, but intimacy soothes. Narcissists don't know how to be soothed. They only know how to be stimulated. So when peace appears, they get restless. The calm feels foreign, even threatening. They mistake comfort for boredom and chaos for connection. That confusion guarantees they'll never be satisfied for long. Some narcissists use sex as emotional anesthesia. It numbs the pain of inadequacy for a few fleeting hours. But afterward, the numbness wears off and shame returns. They might feel disgusted, angry, or empty, not understanding why. It's because the act was never about love. It was self-medication against a pain they refused to face. Their craving isn't for pleasure, it's for escape. Escape from the truth that their love is conditional, their worth unstable, and their sense of self hollow. Sex gives them a temporary illusion of meaning, a way to feel alive without being authentic. But illusions fade, and each time they do, the emptiness grows louder. The narcissist's dissatisfaction is a reflection of emotional starvation. They've built their identity around performance, not connection. Real intimacy requires empathy, and empathy threatens their fragile self-image. So they keep the walls up, pretending to be in control, while secretly dying of loneliness behind them. When a partner offers genuine affection, the narcissist recoils. That level of acceptance feels foreign, even unbearable. They've spent so long performing that love without conditions feels suspicious. They push it away, not because they don't want it, but because they don't believe they deserve it. Every time they reject real love, they reinforce their emptiness. The craving grows stronger, the satisfaction shorter. It's an endless loop, wanting what they fear, fearing what they want. Until they confront that paradox, they'll keep using others as mirrors, mistaking reflections for relationships. The real reason narcissists never feel satisfied in bed is that sex can't heal shame. It can distract, inflate, or impress, but it can't fix what's broken inside. Until they learn to face their shame with honesty, every pleasure will taste like illusion. Satisfaction requires self-awareness, and that's the one thing they spend their lives avoiding. Partners of narcissists often leave feeling drained. They gave everything: emotion, trust, tenderness, yet it was never enough. But it was never about your effort. It was about their emptiness. You can't fill a void that refuses to be acknowledged. You can only walk away and save your light for someone capable of sharing theirs. In quiet moments when no one's watching, even narcissists feel the hollowness. The applause fades, the conquests blur, and all that remains is silence. But they can't sit in it. They reach for another distraction, another fix. Satisfaction isn't missing from their life. It's missing from their capacity to feel. There's a strange tragedy to it. Behind every narcissist arrogance lies a child who never learned what safe love feels like. They learned to perform instead of connect, to dominate instead of trust. And every sexual conquest is really a cry for reassurance. Am I still enough? But reassurance fades faster than love can grow. For survivors of these relationships, the lesson is painful but freeing. You can't love someone into wholeness if they refuse to open themselves. The dissatisfaction they project isn't your failure, it's their design. You can offer real connection, but you can't make them receive it. That healing must come from within. The dark reason narcissists never feel satisfied in bed is simple. Sex can't replace self-worth. You can't fill an empty soul with admiration or adrenaline. Satisfaction comes from truth, vulnerability, and trust, the very things narcissists avoid. Until they face their emptiness, every encounter will end the same way: hollow, restless, unfinished. So if you've ever been with one, remember this: what felt empty wasn't you, it was them. You were real in a place they could only pretend, and your ability to crave true connection, to want more than performance, is proof that your soul is still alive. Their dissatisfaction was never your fault. It was their mirror cracking under its own lies. In the end, narcissists don't need more lovers, they need to meet themselves. Only then can satisfaction exist, when the performance ends and the person beneath the mask finally dares to feel. Until that day comes, they'll keep running from their own reflection, mistaking lust for love and craving for connection that never arrives.